Hey, you guys, welcome back to Marriage with the Statons.
All right.
This is.
I am Teddy P.
And I am Lady T. And with Marriage with the Statons, this is where we talk all things dating, relationships, and marriage. So we're going to be doing just a reaction on the viral dating show, Pop the Balloon.
Well, let's get it popping.
Let's get it popping.
All right, let's go for
All
it.
right.
What episode is this?
This is a catch-up with Derek and Savannah. So this is a
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's your host Arlette and we are joined here today by Derek and Savannah. Welcome. How are y'all feeling?
I'm great. I hope everyone's okay.
Good. Derek, how are you?
I'm alright.
Alright.
You don't sound convinced.
Okay.
I'm alive and well. You know what I mean? I'm just picked up my kids, so I'm good.
All right. Well, that's always good to hear. So we did have you both on episode 54 of Pop the Balloon or Find Love, where you guys ended up matching. So is it a yes for you for her?
Yeah.
Okay. And is it a yes for you for him?
Yes, it is.
We got a match. I'll take the mic. And you guys can go on out, make some noise for them, guys. And now, so Savannah, you were actually talked about quite a lot in the comments. People loved your personality. They loved how bubbly you were. Are people usually drawn to you? Like, do you get that type of like comments a lot?
I get it a lot. I mean, people often consider me a people's person. I'm very relatable, so I get that a lot.
Okay, good.
It's just a
And
part
then
of my
Derek,
outgoing personality.
and we love to see it. All right, and now for Derek, there were also quite a few comments about you as well. There were some, Lakers fans that were like, "Hey, I remember Derek," all of that good stuff. Do you get recognized when you're out in person because of that, or is that something that's kind of like died down over the time?
No, I do. I tell people in Jersey, I feel like the Jesus of Nazareth, like people always know that I'm there, but they don't really want to speak, especially, like I said.
Wait a minute.
I don't get it.
Did he just refer to himself as the Jesus of Nazareth? What miracles have you performed?
I didn't get that.
I didn't either.
I'm lost
Okay,
on that.
let's continue.
Things I'm involved with right now, focused on sharing my story, helping the youth, really a community guy, so it's never a place you can't find me. And so, the same everything I said on television, I'm the same way in real life.
Okay, good. All right, well then let's go ahead and dive right on into what everyone is here for. Since you guys ended up matching, have you gone on a date?
We did go on a date.
Oh, crap.
The next day after the show, we didn't go on a date that night. That was solely because of me. So the next day, we did meet up. I met him at his hotel, and we proceeded for brunch. The brunch date went pretty good. I did learn that Derek is a blogger, and he blogged during the beginning of our date.
What?
He carries this JBL, just like a JBL speaker or something of that nature. That was kind of a bit overwhelming for me because, we're in a setting that's playing music, and then here's Derek with his music.
Wait a minute.
And so, we kind of got some eyes.
But wait a minute. She said he brought. Okay, I'm lost. Take it back just a little. Can you take it back just a little bit? I'm
He
trying to.
brought a speaker to the date, basically,
Uh-huh.
to play his own music, even though he was in a setting that had music already playing.
So he's blogging during the date, and he's bringing.
Pretty much.
Okay, keep going.
Okay.
Keep going.
Was that I'm not a person that's big on attention, so I kind of felt like that was unnecessary. or whatnot. But
But he's a blogger.
we ate brunch,
Okay.
we talked, we hung out. I tried to get a feel of him. I think the same. He tried to get a feel of me or whatnot, and then he kind of went back to his blogging thing. But I'll let him speak in regards to that.
Okay. So Derek, when I asked, I think you said no.
Yeah,
You shook your head
explain
no.
yourself.
I didn't think that was a date. You know, I literally thought we were just catching up, you know, because like she said, she didn't go out. She had some girlfriends in town or people that support her in the show that I guess she was doing dinner with them for the night. So even though I was like, that threw me off a little bit, it was like, all right, respectful. It was already late. The recording went a little later. When I met her the next day, I'm just going to still be myself. You know, a lot of times when we go into some of these establishments that are corporate, they're playing something, you know, I'm not really particularly fond of. So I put on, I don't know if I had jazz playing or just some instrumentals. But, you know,
I'm sorry.
I didn't think it was too, like, out of alignment from, like, the mood I was trying to set with her. Because at first we were just walking around. You know, we weren't like, hey, I got reservations here or there. We were still just trying to figure out where we were going to go. So just so there wasn't like no awkward, I just use that. I play some music, you know. This is the first time I'm hearing it. I know once we left, departed from each other, it was very hard to get in contact with her. And so the production guys called me.
You
It
think?
wasn't something that was like as organic of what I was looking for. Like you said, she was bubbling. Maybe I'm a little spoiled from my last life. If I'm like attracted to somebody, we're attracted to each other. There's usually like we want to be around each other. You know, I had arranged. I got a flight. I got an Airbnb. You know, she ghosted me. She didn't come, so that was new.
So
Yeah.
you said
You
you
know.
bought her a flight and you booked an Airbnb and she
For this
didn't.
past weekend, I was bringing her to New Jersey. You know,
Okay.
on me, and I just felt like,
I don't think that date went too well, bro.
you know, I'm trying to be very careful with my words, but
But you weren't
it was like if it
careful
was like
enough to bring a
preaching, you
speaker
know,
on your
it
first
wasn't
date.
it wasn't appreciative, you know. It was like you got me an Airbnb,
Okay,
and I'm like,
wait. Okay, I think I'm getting the picture now. They're on a date. They're going. He's blogging, which I don't know. The way it seemed like she didn't know that he was going to be blogging, which you know.
Correct.
So you blog. Maybe it would have been better. I was saying you blog, then you. I don't know. I'm not. I don't get that. But you bring a whole speaker
With your own music.
to a public place
Yeah,
that's already playing music.
right. We just setting the stage for y'all right here.
No, I'm just trying to understand
So-
what's going on.
First thing.
Okay.
First thing, so isn't the purpose of a first date to get to know each other and conversate and all of that? What in your mind convinced you that bringing your recording equipment to a first date that was logical? Because what if
Unless you knew about it and they agreed to it, but
Exactly.
I don't think that.
I don't.
that-
She.
I don't think
She.
that-
No, there was no. It seems like there was no prior conversation talking about, hey, be prepared. I'm a vlogger. Be prepared. I'm gonna be recording us.
I'm seeing the picture now because I wasn't getting it at first when he said I got the blogging part when the speaker and let's keep going.
Okay.
Let's just keep going.
maybe because I led when I was a basketball player, she was looking for a 5-star, 6-star hotel. I wasn't sure like what happened, you know. But maybe I'm just running my mouth right now. But I thought it was something different where you know it was a little more organic. But
Okay. So after that
Can I
first.
speak real quick in reference to the date night? That
Yeah, so I'm
night,
gonna get back to that, Savina.
Okay.
So,
I apologize.
so once you guys went to brunch, after that, did you guys keep communicating, or was it?
We did.
Obviously, you did. Okay. Just wanted to double check on that. And then Savina, you said you wanted to jump in and ask about something.
Okay, yeah. So that night he said that I wanted to go and have lunch with my friends. I actually told him that I wasn't feeling well. I have an illness called a vascular necrosis disease, and I wasn't really able to tell him about my illness that night. But, you know, standing up, waiting, you know, walking backwards, I told him that, you know, my ankles and my knees were aching. That was the reason for me not going out to eat, not to go hang with my friends or etc. I told you that was my reason. Even while you were walking and we were blogging, I told you I didn't mind the walk, but I have issues with my knees where I was cut off several times because you were blogging. And I couldn't tell you at that moment what my reason for, you know, walking slowly was. And then some of the music was appropriate, but I don't think it's appropriate to play a song by Chris Brown called The N-Word in public, where there are multiple races that are around looking at us, listening to the music.
Maybe that was his theme song.
I understand what you're saying. Like I said, I wish I was, you know, that was brought to my attention then. I apologize if, you know, it rubbed you the wrong way.
I mean, he accepted accountability when it seemed like that.
Okay.
You know, I just feel like I'm a person, it's a time and place for everything. And I don't want to be sitting by somebody or waiting by somebody and they're playing music that the song is literally titled The N-Word.
I didn't think you had a problem with it.
I can only imagine how the other guests felt uncomfortable. So, you know.
You were telling me about a story. You told the white gentleman that was a honorable Navy veteran to get out of your seat at the airport, and his wife. He was telling his wife how you felt about her too. So I didn't think that now playing my music and the N-word was something like so far out of like, you know what I mean, where you.
I wasn't speaking it publicly. I was speaking it directly to you, not amongst several other people, several other strangers. I was speaking it directly to you.
So did you tell him at the moment, Savina, that did you ask him like, hey, are you able to turn off your music? Like, was that brought up at all, or?
You know what, Arlette, that's kind of one of those things, you know, some things you shouldn't have to tell a person, being an adult. You should kind of know, you know, I'm in a setting.
It's a new world.
You know, with someone, I'm trying to get to know them. This is my date. Why am I playing additional music? And why am I playing this type of music? You know, he could have been playing anything, but it's just like, I shouldn't have to tell a grown man, you know, a 30-plus-year-old man that, you know,
you a big dude.
We shouldn't have additional music on an outing, you know, since he doesn't consider it a date.
Okay.
Furthermore, he spoke on attempting to bring me to New Jersey, but I feel like maybe we should talk about the group chat that was created that involved myself and other women.
Someone else talked about your.
Do stutter.
Someone else
Do it, bro.
Not to cut you off. Somebody else talked about you. I never talked about you in that. So that's why I thought it was just a little chaotic. And we talk about being grown.
Let's let people finish their thoughts. So, Savina, I'm going to let you finish talking about the group chat, and then we'll hop over to Derek. Let us know what's going on with the group chat.
Okay, so there was like a group chat that I found out about. Apparently, it was started May 5th. It began May 5th. I got a notification on, I think that was May 19th. So I click on it. Of course, I've gotten several followers, so I just go in and I add. So I see this group chat. I'm like, what's this? You know, this is new to me. I click on the group chat. I scroll up. I see screenshots of messages, etc. Pictures of women, women not from the show that other guys have sent in, like, look at this, other conversations from other people's personal text messages. And I know that was one of the things that was noted to us. No group messages, no group chats, you know, nothing of that nature. So when I saw this, I'm like, who the heck added me to this?
And this is on Instagram?
Yes, this was an Instagram group chat.
Okay.
So pretty much all of the guys from our episode were in this group chat. So they specifically stated in the group chat, don't add any women. But one of the guys added myself along with my friend because he's been trying to communicate with my best friend who's not interested. And so, with that being said, I didn't like how I was described, one by Derek as the girl with the scars on her lips and the cosmetic surgery.
That's not what I said.
Derek, we're going to get to you, Derek. Don't worry.
I can't hear what she said. You said
I have screenshots, sweetie.
You can
I have
screenshot it.
screenshots.
You can
I have
screenshot it.
screenshots.
I wouldn't describe you like that. I didn't even
He's
describe
jumping
you.
the gun because he kind of cut her off before she did say
I
it.
was described, let me quote unquote, I match with the girl with the scars on her knees in the cosmetic work. I have a name.
Scars on her knees.
My name is not Scars on the Knees in cosmetic work. My name is Savina.
Scars on her knees.
He also stated that he wanted to go back on the show if I didn't step up. This is May 5th. We're still early on. Okay.
Wow, bro.
He stated that the lady in green, whom was Jasmine, was his person. But he felt some type of way with her being cuddled up with a person who she popped on, whom I later learned was Simon. Which Simon is in my best friend, Mallory, Instagram, Miss Me with Dad. He's in her inbox constantly asking about the status of me and Derek along with her, and he's stating that him and Jasmine are special friends. Again, anything that I say, I can provide proof.
Okay.
Ooh.
All right, Derek, let's go ahead and switch on over to you.
So literally, we spoke the time we were speaking before, I guess, production reached out and was like, hey, you got to, like she said, I was given an opportunity where it's just like, hey, let's just build and talk. And but once I got to know more of her personal love story, where she wasn't ever really loved incorrectly from my understanding, and not to put her personal business out there, her man isn't with her, separated. You know what I mean? They're no longer together for their personal reasons.
I would hope
She
so.
has a daughter. She's not looking to have any more kids. She already did in the line with me. So I wasn't looking for her for real love anymore at that point. But I said, hey, you never been to New Jersey. You never been to New York.
Okay.
As a friend, maybe we could do some content. Maybe we could do.
Y'all didn't talk
like,
about
we
that
could
before the
maybe
Bobby
do
Balloon?
something else.
What?
It's part of like we had this great experience on the show, and I just literally bought her a ticket in an Airbnb as a friend. There was no more me trying to court or try to be with this lady at all. So it was like, I'm hearing all this now after I spent $1,500 on a ticket, which is like, I'll eat it, but it's like, I never heard any of this before I purchased it.
Hold up. So you mean to tell me this lady, you're saying that this lady did not align with what you wanted with a woman in a relationship, but then you turn around and spend $1,500 to fly her out to stay at an Airbnb.
Well, she might be something if she got the ashy knees or whatever knees he said. I don't know what I mean.
What was the purpose of that? I mean, you say just to
I'm
collab,
sorry,
maybe
the scar on her knees. I'm sorry.
maybe to collab or something like that. Does that make sense to you?
He's saying a whole lot. He got an Airbnb.
Yeah.
He paid for it, and he paid for. Bruh's kind of confusing right now. He confusing me. But you said she didn't want any more kids. She has one child. She doesn't want any more kids. That's a no-go for you. Didn't y'all talk about that before y'all popped the balloon?
Right.
The balloon should have been.
I remember watching this episode, and
I guess I'm
she
gonna have to see
actually
that.
was honest and said that she didn't want any more kids. But you still agreed to be matched.
He was blogging during the time.
Oh, that's right.
He
that's
probably
right.
he probably blogging during the time. Was he blogging while he was?
He missed that part.
Yeah, okay. Well, anyway, keep.
Years before I purchased the Airbnb, I just got like, oh, I thought it was going to be a hotel. And it was
I
like,
can't hold
so
it
it just
anymore. I'm
was
sorry,
like,
I gotta laugh.
Sorry,
It was
Savannah.
all
Let's let
good.
him finish.
So it's
Okay.
like, now I'm hearing this is for the first time we've been talking maybe a week or so. I don't know the last time we recorded on there. It was like, this is the first time I'm hearing any of this.
Okay, so just to make sure I'm understanding everything correctly, so you're saying you kind of switched her into the friend zone after you heard that her ex.
Once she told me this after the first conversation, she wasn't trying to have more kids, and I want to have more kids. It was just kind of like, oh, all right. We didn't. Maybe we both was looking for like something that we didn't. Why didn't we pop on the show? Or
What is you doing?
maybe I need to ask different questions. But
So now-
once I found out, go ahead.
Sorry. So when you bought like the ticket and you booked the Airbnb, what did you inform her that she's coming out there just as a friend?
Yeah, there was no expectations. I don't have any expectations of Sabina. There hasn't been anything perverse I've been saying, Sabina. I haven't asked her for any, what's that ass looking like? What's that cosmetic 6'4" bouncing like? I haven't been any way, shape, or form, even sexual towards Sabina. Yeah, she is my wife right here on the phone. I haven't spoken to her that way. So, am I lying?
I don't even know what you're saying.
I'm just gonna let you talk so that I can.
I'm asking, but am I asking? Have I asked you anything sexually? Have I asked you, what kind
Have
of
you
dog
asked
you
her
are?
anything
What are you
sexual?
doing? Like, it's all been friendly and just
You
respectful.
wouldn't get anywhere asking me nothing like that.
But I'm saying, but most men in the dating
No,
service
you haven't asked me that. The only thing you
But
asked
that's
me to
what
bring
I'm
was,
saying.
but
So
see,
you-
what I'm saying,
But we saying we grown. What are we talking
we're
about?
going in a sequence of events. You're talking about something that happened last week in regards to this New Jersey trip. This was not nothing back in May, early May or anything. This was just last week. This was just Friday. So
We're the
I
same
like a
month.
timeline. We're not moving on a timeline. You know, I think that's kind of one of the reasons why we probably wouldn't work out is because you're not organized and you're like a hash brown. You kind of scattered
It's
everywhere.
real.
Yo, you got the greatest saying. But you got the greatest saying.
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
Okay.
But you talked about you.
You're like a hash brown. You're scattered everywhere.
Wow.
And I like
That is a diss.
I like hash brown.
Me too, with ketchup.
Okay, see, I want some hash browns with some ketchup now.
For real.
I do. But I just had to stop for that one because I ain't never heard nothing like that.
a hash
Literally,
Too much
you're not my standard. You have the greatest sayings being from the South, and it's great. It's great wordplay. But literally, as a grown woman, you said you didn't want somebody breaking in your Airbnb. As an ex-basketball player, we flown women out all the time, disrespectfully. I've never had somebody tell me
Did he say
they was
disrespectfully?
concerned about somebody breaking them in their Airbnb. Like that's not my standard. That's not how I carry myself. That's not the world I come from. So like for her saying this type of thing, it was like, damn, she must have dealt with some trauma with some broken her shit. Like that's not even who I am. So
Okay.
it threw me for a loop. If I'm
So-
being honest.
So
So you take shots and say I'm disorganized. As an athlete, I live my life on an itinerary.
I
Okay.
think the world
Sorry,
is
guys,
going
one
to be
second.
a disorganization.
No.
Let
let me try to get everything that's going on because there's
I'm
too
trying to
much
figure
going
out
on right
myself.
now.
I'm discombobulated.
From the date you guys had when you went to brunch or breakfast, you both went back to your homes.
Please break
you
it down.
continued to talk. However, at what point after you guys continued to talk did that just then switch over to just now being friends?
Yes.
No. Arlette, can I speak?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's okay. When we had that conversation, after those conversations, Derek said that he went into a friend mode. Derek was texting me that he's fallen in love with me.
Okay.
So, which is it? Can I talk? Can I talk?
Bro.
Bro, like
You go from being, I'm in a friend zone, but you're falling in love with me for real, for real. Again, I have the messages. So which is it? Were you in friend zone or you falling in love with me? It wasn't until I stated to Derek that I am looking for love.
Bro.
That's when Derek states to me,
Stressed out.
oh, you were for real. Oh, let me get serious now.
Going through.
Okay, from the go, Derek I think he has almost like an obsession with his second kid's mother. For one,
Oh,
the
plot thickens.
I never spoke about kids on the show, but to learn that someone has a 2-year-old
Sure they
lets
have.
me know that there's still active, possible relations amongst, the two, who are
That's
co-parenting.
crazy. That's a crazy symbol.
I don't feel like Derek's a bad guy, but again, Derek does a lot of careless talking. You're just kind of everywhere or whatnot. So
You are
it's
kinda
kind of
everywhere,
hard
right?
to
And that's what
gather
she's saying.
and understand what he's talking about. Now, we want to move further along. What
I
also
wanna
got me
understand
is
them. I really
him
do.
constantly stating to me he's just not starting back to date black women.
Oh,
I don't need to constantly hear that you're back and forth. You excited like it's a privilege
Not
to be
back and
communicating
forth.
because I'm a black woman.
Not back
You
and
know,
Oh.
that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And then while he's sitting here stating this as if I'm that I spoke about my safety, you're right, Arlette. My safety is always going to be a concern when I'm flying miles and miles away from home by
Understandable.
myself
That's
with a
understandable.
flight that's 12:50 a.m. in the morning,
oh no, ma'am.
and we agreed
Asked me
upon
to
a
get a decent
hotel,
flight.
and you're
She asked
wanting
me to
me
get
to
a- you
stay.
asked me to get a
Can I
decent flight.
talk? I talk without interrupting you. Can I talk?
Is he blogging right now?
Thank you.
Probably.
You're telling me to fly into New York at 12:50 a.m. in the morning by myself. Then you say you want me to go stay at an Airbnb. All I asked, Arlette, was, could you send me the address of this Airbnb? You would have thought I asked him for $50 million. He just went berserk, talking loud, I spent this amount of money. The flight itself said $327. I'm trying to understand, how did we get to $1,500 from $327? Now let's also acknowledge and highlight
Yeah.
the flight was not booked under the reservation was not made under his name. It was made up under a Mike somebody name, under Hopper. So that was a red flag to me as well.
Oh,
Why
no.
would you book
Mm-mm.
me a flight under somebody else's name?
My assistant
You
helped
don't
me
have a
with that.
debit card. You
I have
don't have a
assistant.
credit card. But
I have
you tell me,
assistant.
you tell
Okay,
me
stop
all
it.
of
Hold on.
Wait.
Okay.
You go first. You go first.
Okay, come on. In this day and age, with all the kind of kidnapping, trafficking, all that kind of stuff, I really don't blame her for throwing up the question mark because, okay, you asked what's the address to the Airbnb, and I'm pretty sure she was asking that so she could see what area she was gonna be in, which is, I feel like, is logical, right? And then when she looks on the ticket and she sees that it was booked by someone else other than the person that she's supposed to be meeting up with, that's another red flag. This woman don't know. She's looking at, okay, I'm flying miles and miles outside of where I live by myself. I'm going to be landing at this airport at 12 something in the morning. She doesn't know if she's going to be meeting you or the guy that booked the ticket. I mean, come on, let's be real.
Well, the part I'm looking at, it seems like a lot of the dates now, I don't get it. The ladies are actually flying or whatever to them. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, you agreed to that. You agreed to that. But anyway, but what is the issue with him flying to you?
Good question.
Now, he did say he had kids. I don't know. Maybe that's an issue. I don't know. Maybe he can't get away from his kids. I don't know. I think he said he had kids because he said something about he just dropped the kids off before he got on there. But I hear a lot of that with these dating things. It's about her flying to them. Maybe I got a little old school in me, but
Yeah.
it's my duty as a guy to come see you and treat you. I'm gonna get the Airbnb. This is where I'm gonna be. Are we gonna meet? Are you gonna pick me up? How are we gonna? Let's coordinate. There's no coordination nowhere with this. So you're taking it upon yourself to trust this guy. First of all, he screwed up the date in the first place. Now I gotta look at her right now. I gotta look at her. This dude is blogging while on the date. You're very graceful to give him a second chance on that. That's kind of crazy, but I guess everybody deserves a second chance. But that's kind of steep. I'm going to pay for your flight. I'm going to pay for your Airbnb. You really don't know him. So I understand the safety issue. But let's go a little bit further. Maybe if they explain it even more, but a lot of ladies are traveling to see them.
Yeah, they don't mind doing that, and I guess that's just common in the culture now. But I'm old school too.
I'm old school.
I just feel like,
If the guy
you know,
go to date, but wait a minute, hold up. She actually picked him.
oh, she
Pop the
did.
balloon, so
She picked him.
she picked him. So does that make her? No. But still, I don't care. She, y'all. He kept the balloon. He said yes. She said yes. Let's keep moving. Let's.
But see, this the thing though. Okay, and this is what a lot of people run into. Like on that show, the only issue I have with that show, I guess, would be that you're only judging based off of a couple of questions. Like what's your age, your name, your occupation, and they may ask other, questions like kids and stuff, but you really not getting to know the person. So a person can look really good on paper.
That's just a setup for the date.
Well, yeah, of course,
Okay,
yeah.
I got to pick who I'm going to date with.
Yeah.
Then again, I don't know what they think when they go up there. Someone probably looking for a husband and they say, okay, you're gonna be my husband. Meet me at the church in a minute.
I hope not.
I don't know.
You gonna be that man?
You got guys up at dating, bringing their own speakers and stuff to the place for to listen to. I almost say that the N word. I can imagine I'm sitting at the table and I'm listening to a song and the N word is playing. Like, make me want to say it. Who me? Okay.
Do you remember our first date?
Our thing is, when we started hooking up, we were really friends. I don't even know when we started dating because we was always hanging out.
But what was the first place that we actually just hung out at? Was it Fuddruckers?
Fuddruckers is memorable.
Okay.
I know we love Chinese food. We love a place called Peking.
Oh. Okay.
I can't quite remember, but we were hanging out in first. I don't even pinpoint when we just actually started dating because it just rolled into one. But Fuddruckers was most memorable because you almost fell off the table.
Okay, but that's another story for a different day.
I don't know what you was on the table for, but you.
Well, he said he was hungry, so I thought I was gonna get on the table.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying?
let's. Okay.
This information about how you have this kind of money. My thing is this, Darlene.
What kind of money that's in your head?
So,
What's that
Derek,
thing?
please,
Can
Derek,
I talk?
Derek, let her finish.
Oh my God.
Can I
Just
talk?
about
Calm down,
the
bro, calm
beginning.
Calm down.
But you state all of this stuff. He tries to lead with money. Okay. Now, when I make you write a check that you can cash, the first thing he brought up was, so what are you paying to come out here? No, sweetie, you invited me to New Jersey. You invited me to New Jersey. So if a man offers to fly me out, most men know that's on me. That's on him.
Right.
Just one thing about it. Listen.
Okay.
At least he paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
At least he paid
Right.
for it. Now, the communication was just totally off.
Yeah.
At least he paid for it, but the communication was off because I'm thinking about if I had a single daughter, my daughter's married, but if I had a single daughter, I would tell her no, tell him to come here for when I want to see him. I don't care how big he is. He got knees, don't he? No, okay. I'm sorry.
He got what?
Knees.
Knees. Like Knees?
Yeah, bust him at his knees. Okay, I'm getting back. I'm sorry.
We done went from the table to
I'm just
busting
thinking,
folk in the knees.
about the idea
Okay.
if my daughter was dating. But no,
Okay.
okay. I'm sorry. I just had a thought.
You asked me what would I pay. You asked me what would I pay. So then you tell me you have mouths to feed. You're trying to get custody of your daughter. I mean, I've worked
now at
family
this
court
point, I'm
for
a
11
friend.
years.
I'm
I
not-
worked family court for 11 years. A lawyer for a family court is the most inexpensive lawyer you can buy.
Really?
That's the most inexpensive lawyer that you could purchase. So he goes on, he state all this stuff. So
She's stressing
again,
you
the
out.
flight was $327. Where did the $1,500 come from?
Is that
Am I
right?
wrong for being concerned about my safety? We're in New Jersey here. Crime is
Okay,
not
Sabina.
cold in New Jersey. So then he tells me,
Let's take a
when I
break.
ask-
And let's actually hear from Derek, and then we'll come back over to you because I know he wants to kind of clear his name as well. So, Derek, go
Yes,
ahead. If
ma'am.
there's anything that was said that you want to clear up on.
This is why most athletes, when we talk about the culture, that's why I came on the show, so hate white women.
Oh crap!
Because everything I'm hearing about, she has a younger son, and that's trauma. That's trauma. That's baggage from somebody else she dated that probably had a younger child that she's experienced this before. It's the same repetitive stuff. I've never had, and we're just talking the topic, like, I've never had a white girl talk about her safety. She feels safe with me. It's never been an issue where it's like, but it's just trauma. She's like, yo, ever since she's been trying to count my dollars because I don't work a regular 9 to 5.
Bruh.
So I'm
You gotta
disorganized
be on every black woman's
because
hit
I'm not
list.
punching the clock
Sorry.
like she does with whatever great, fantastic career she has. Not knocking any career woman. My mom's had a 30, 35-year-old career.
Bro,
but
good job
my
working
ambition,
from
like
But
I
you
told
told
you.
me you were a
Hold on, I'm
substitute
finished
teacher.
talking.
Serena,
I'm
we gotta
talking,
let him
Serena. I'm
finish
talking,
too.
Serena.
I be fair.
Talking. We talked about it on the show. I said, nonprofit, production company. I speak. I was with my professor the other day. She's a Harvard professor. I speak to kids for $3,000 an hour on a day. So it's like I don't have speeches every single day, but in the midst, I'm at the library. I'm doing yoga at the gym. You know, I'm taking care of my kids. So to the normal
What are we
person, it
talking
may look
about?
like, yo,
don't
this is
know.
a
I
bullshit.
just, I
But
forgot.
if I'm managing my life,
what we-
and the people that I take care of, my first baby mom, my second baby mom, the woman I'm looking for now,
Okay.
I don't have any issues.
Okay, slow down.
Wait,
So like when
I
she
need
projects,
to catch up. Hold on. Okay. Okay, now he started off talking about this is the reason why athletes go after white women. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because they don't worry about their safety.
Okay. Where are we going? Where
That's
are we
what
at
I
right now?
don't know. I'm lost.
Because he's kind of I know he rambles a lot, and it's not making. I want to understand him,
Yeah.
but he jumbling up a whole lot of stuff, and okay, it's just I'm lost right now.
I'm like, no, this is the first time I've ever heard this. You know, certain things is like, man, maybe I came back to the culture too late because I'm like, I don't know black women as well as I should, and that's on me. So some of the things that I probably,
Is your
the
mom
way I
black?
was talking to
I'm
the
sorry.
maybe
That
I
was
did
mean.
get a little
No,
aggressive.
that was
I'm
mean.
very
That
passionate.
was mean.
Are you black?
I mean,
I
I
mean-
don't know. I just want to know. I don't know.
How does color? Okay.
Well, this thing, you're dealing with, it's not just so much about color. You're dealing with cultures. You're dealing
Yeah.
with demographics. You're dealing with when you talk about a black woman compared to a white woman, depending on where they come from, too. Some of them may say they don't understand the dangers that most black women probably have gone through.
Exactly.
So white women be like, yeah, good,
Yeah, let's go.
let's go jump off this bridge. I don't care, because they probably do it. They probably do it all the time. Black women be like, look, I just got my hair did.
Right.
I'm not jumping off this bridge.
We have different concerns.
There
That
are
doesn't.
different concerns. So, but he kind of went off on the deep end and said, this is the reason why athletes go after black. Bro, get your job from home because you probably making yourself a.
See what it is, and I'm not trying to sound racist or anything, but being a sister myself, I think sisters, and y'all comment, let me know if sisters comment and let me know if you agree. We kind of have a different standard, and I believe the reason why a lot of NBA players do go after women of other races because they're more tolerating of things like this. They're not gonna speak. All they looking at is, ooh, this dude got a lot of money. Now you got some black people like that too. You got some black women that are paper chasers or whatever they call them.
You got some black people that come from different areas. They don't, they've been taken care of and everything. They don't understand the dangers. I mean, but for the most part, the most black people I know.
But
We are more cautious about things because we understand danger, we understand issues, we understand poverty, we understand certain things. Like we understand working and struggling. Not to say that some white people don't, but for the ones that I know,
You know, and you can't fault a person from what their culture and their background and things like that. That's what makes us
all I can
unique.
say, I'm sure about now. That's about the last black woman he probably gonna date, right? at this
But
point.
okay, so that brings up another question. So, if it was so good in Winter Wonderland, I would say,
She said
then
Winter
why would you come on a dating show looking for a partner?
Wonderland.
I'm just saying, and I'm not trying to say this to be mean, okay? Because I love all people. I don't do that, you know, the race thing. I love all people. I'm more concerned about who you are as a person than. But why would you, if that's how you feel, why would you come on a dating show looking for a partner?
He just trying out.
That's what I'm saying. That's not your type.
He wanted to try something different. So he
What
said-
happened?
I mean.
What happened? What happened in Winter Wonderland that
yeah,
caused you
yeah.
to all of